already done the pledge at the hearing for the budget. So we'll move right on to minutes from the May 18th, 2021 work session and the June 13th, 2021 special board meeting. I would entertain a motion to accept one or both of those based on file.
I'll make a motion to accept both of
I second that.
Then moved and supported that we approve the minutes of the May 18th, 2021 work session and the June 13th, 2021 special board meeting. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Being none, carried. You received a copy of your treasurer's report. Any comments? If not, please place those on file. The approved minutes of the May 5th, 2021 Manistee Township Planning Commission. Any comments from either one of you gentlemen or the zoning administrator? There was no appeal, right? No appeal?
No.
Any?
Oh, go ahead.
Anyone with anything to bring before the board at this time? Commissioner Dodds must be preoccupied. He did not give me a synopsis report. He didn't say anything to you, John?
them. He did not.
Okay. Karen, anything in your office?
Yes. There were no new complaints for May. I checked on the junk complaint that was made against the property owner on Birchwood. They are making an effort to clean things up. There were 5 land use permits issued, 11 requests for construction permits, and 3 reinspection permits, or reinspection fees, sorry. There was 1 appeal heard. It was granted by the Zoning Board of Appeals. That was for 2 variances for a home to be built within the 55-foot high-risk erosion area setback and within the 50-foot water's edge setback from the Bar Lake outlet. The property owners then put in a request to Eagle for a variance from their 60-foot setback distance from the erosion hazard line. That cannot be issued at this time for the house as the homeowners propose it. They can either modify the plan, remodel the existing home, or contact Eagle for a site inspection after the seawall and backfill are in place, and they can revisit their request. This is the property that is located right next to the outlet and then right up against Lake Michigan. I've been working with the homeowner to help them get Old McNick Road abandoned so they can utilize their entire property. There has been some interest in the Old Kennedy School building for potential apartment complexes. BOS Manufacturing, they make conveyor parts and belts and stuff. They're showing some interest in expanding their facility in the Renaissance Park. There are currently 2 bills in play regarding short-term rental, one in House and one in the Senate. Got information from Dennis just this evening that House Bill 4722 will be voted on tomorrow. This would recognize the residential use of property. A short-term rental would be recognized as residential use of property and a permitted use in all residential zones. That would take ordinances off the table for local units of government. Guy and I have completed the master plan. It has been distributed to members for review prior to the July meeting. Maple Ridge Manor has received their certificate of occupancy, and now they are just waiting on state inspections so they can open.
That's all.
That is it.
Okay. Any questions? Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I understand Chuck is probably working,
Yes, sir, it is.
so did you want to report?
Yeah, sure. Across the street, for the fire department, we've had a total of 24 calls for the month of April. Fire related was 7, check-ins, fire related was 6, medical was 9, then we had meetings and station trainings, other activities was 9. Approximately 43 hours in the chiefs in officers' time. Total hours for medical training and fire calls were 78. The main medical, Shelby had 4, ran 4, Frank ran 3, Joe, Serpa, and Dave Cook had 2. For fire, Jimmy Henderson had 6, myself and Dave Pete had 5, Dan Lieski had 4, and Joe, Serpa, and Gordon Grant had 2. Apparatuses, we had 131 with some minor issues. We're still working on the seat and the transmission and the old PTO air conditioning, or air connections. The compressor on 131 or 133 continues. It's a small compressor, it's on board the truck, and it's continuing to run because there's some leaks. And it's in the right lines is what we think it is. 135R is starting to show its age. As you're going down, I know we put some money into it last year, I think it was. And as you're going down the road, she starts drifting again on you. So I don't know how much longer we're gonna wanna put money into that. She's truly showing her age. I've been working with Republic Services to fix the hole in the driveway. We were out there the other night doing some pump operations, and we're pulling glass and garbage still out of the driveway from the garbage truck fire. Truck's on fire, they pull in our driveway and just decide to offload the mess, and then they come in to clean it up with the loader and push all the gravel and everything in there. I've been asking the insurance lady, hey, can you need some more gravel, because they scooped it up and they should actually come in and level everything off. Like I said, I'm worried about the glass in the tires and us dragging hoses and stuff like that over it. Plus, it's a bad eye, I feel. Denny, I'll play with it for another month, but I might have to put it in your court. I don't know if you'd be able to do something more. Yes, sir.
I was unsure of what happened. Tell me about the fire in the trash truck.
So the trash truck is doing its rounds.
When did this happen, Sam?
3
Months
months
ago?
ago? 3-4 months ago? And they left, I say it was Hagen's fault, because they left his place and they picked up all that padding, and next thing you know, there's flames coming out of the truck. So, at least this time, because I guess there was an incident once before, many years ago, where they actually were gonna dump the truck in front of the doors, so we couldn't get the trucks out. This guy pulled it into the driveway. Yeah. So,
That was the
that's
second time they'd done that. The first time they did that, they left it on the truck and burned the truck up.
underneath the power line.
Well, that was hard.
Right, that was a mouse and match,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, very well. But I was not worried.
There still is that faulty light switch, when you walk in, the back door, if that switch is up, you come in the main door, and you go to turn in the first bank of lights, it doesn't go off. And that box is, if it's on for some time, it's hot, so.
Sam, I dropped the ball on that. I forgot about that, because you
Yes,
brought
no
that to my
problem.
attention when we had them over there on an emergency job.
Yep.
And we didn't have any time to deal with that at that point. I'll get a hold of Coach and get that taken care
Sounds good. 50/50 grant, Diane, for 2020. we still haven't received our turnout gear. 50/50 grant for 2021, we've been approved. We're collecting those 3 estimates.
Is that turnout gear also?
Turnout gear, yes. Updates, revenue sharing for the generator. I received a call from Mark just at the beginning of this month. They have not received the transfer switch. And what Generac's been doing is they'll mail the transfer switch out. That comes with the pad, everything that they need. They'll come out, they'll start assembling that. And 2 weeks after they receive that, typically is when the generator's been showing up. But they're still backlogged in Wisconsin from all the factories being shut down. They were anticipating on getting it, but they haven't received it yet. So that's that update. We completed our hose testing. There was 3 sections that were bad. That's not bad, when we're dealing with 7,835 feet.
Sam, was there any warranty on that hose at all? Because that 5-inch wasn't that old.
We fixed it.
Huh?
The 5-inch,
Yeah.
we fixed it.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was right at the coupling where it started to blow apart. So we just removed a section and fused it back together, and it's good to go.
Okay, good.
So, and then the smaller ones that had failed, those were ones that the Forest Service donated. So that was,
That yellow one?
yeah,
8-inch there?
yeah. It was a double wall jacketed, and they can only use single. So that's the hose testing. Personnel, we do, Jade Beret has applied. She has an EMR. She's turned in her paperwork, and I think she's good to go. But we would like to put her on as on the payroll as a probationary for 6 months. So, and her starting pay would probably be around $12. Because she is an EMR, however, she's lacking the firefighter 1 and firefighter 2 certifications. It's a $10 pay rate is what we pay for people just coming in not having nothing, and we put them on, but we've kind of been holding on to those people, just having them attend the training because of the amount of paperwork, and then, they drop out. So we'd like to have Jade added on to our roster. We do have a cadet. He is showing up regularly on Monday nights, participating in the training. We're trying to give him enough to keep him entertained and have a taste, because he's a young kid. And when he turns 18, which is next year, we'll send him right, or this winter, we'll send him right to the fire academy, and then we'll go from there. So, young, strong, young man.
Boom.
Yeah, strong. Well, I need to hold the wall through it now. So that's that for personnel training. Main training was pump ops. So we went through 131, new system, new pump. We were able to hook up to the hydrant here. We flowed some water. Everybody got to run it and get familiar with it. We reviewed incident command, CPR. We had our CPR refresher, so everybody at the station is good to go, and that's good for 3 years. So we'll be sitting tall here. 133 with 131 pump ops. What we did is simulated a pump failure on 133, and we used 131 through the 5-inch LDH. We did a pumper relay to supply the ladder with water in case of an emergency or something like that. We also did VEIS. VEIS stands for Vent, Enter, Isolate, and Search. It's a new tactic that they're introducing to the fire service. I think it's been around for a while, but it's just kind of frowned upon. Where we would use this is if we show up to a known structure fire and we have uncertain information that there is somebody still in the house, like mom, dad, or kids, they didn't get a chance to get out. We are able to find out where their bedroom is, and we want to start our searches closest to the scene of the fire, but yet in a survival compartment. And that's where second story we practice on, going up a ladder, breaking the window, going inside the building, and then we isolate the door We used the connexes, and we actually had smoke machines, and we had that completely where it was zero visibility as it would be in a real fire. It was good training. And we also did search and rescue in the lower level, blacked out the mast, they got to crawl around and get familiar with it. Filer, Township, Manistee City, Onekama, and Bear Lake, they also partake in that VEIS and search and rescue training too. So it was pretty much everybody that were in the automatic aid. We wanted them to be here to send the people that they have on the roster that's able to pack up to go through it. So if we arrive on scene, we do get that information, we can make that order and have that happen. State's moving forward with the CEUs for fire now at a faster pace since it's been approved. And just a quick overview again, that's a 3-year cycle. So every firefighter 1, firefighter 2, within 3 years, they have to have 36 hours of training. And that's hands-on pump, search and rescue, VIS, stuff like that goes to play. And then they have to have 6 hours per year. So on top of that, which gives it about 36. And then you're also looking at for people in officer positions where they have to get their instructor level 1, that's an additional 12 hours on top of the 36. And then for the company officer positions, you also have another additional 12 hours on top of that. So they're really going to be pushing. With that said, we were looking at the action training system, online training, which was $1,980, but the cost is now $1,485 per year for our folks. Again, that's 9 medical and fire and 8 fire personnel. They were going to give us a 25% discount. Basically, City Fire and Filer Township have jumped on with that Lexi pool. It's Fire Rescue 1. It is a known, credible, and the hours, the programs that they have go towards our medical personnel, their medical CUs that's required for every 2 years, which is 15 credits is what they have. And they are also known for our mandated state CUs as well.
Sam, who is they? You keep referring to they. Is it state? Is it federal? Is it insurance companies? Who is they?
State.
State.
It's the fire marshal and the training, fire service training bureau. They basically run off NMPA standards, they set the rules, and the rules is what we have to follow.
And they answer obviously to no one.
The state meaning, yes, the state answers to, I mean, they had it where they had it before they passed it, the new proposal, the training proposals, they had it as a video thing and people could weigh in, but pretty much they're appointed officials and they're gonna do what they see fit.
Because with all the requirements, it'll get to the point they won't have any volunteers.
We're already
fired.
We're already there. We come in on Monday nights.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a few young guys and that's it. And
Yeah.
those guys that do continuously show, I don't want to lose them from something so simple, you know, and really, this is good training. We use this for that VEIS training because Filer was able to provide me with the training outline, and I sent that out in advance to all of our personnel that was going to attend. They reviewed it, they watched the video, so when they showed up, that cut down on an hour and a half time. So we were able to go right out and actually put that training to use by doing the practice. So, and when ISO comes around, or the state comes to audit us, all we have to do is hit the run report, boom, here's all of our CUs. So, I mean, each Monday night, what we do is I fill out a training report. It's in a three reminder on the table, and that describes exactly what we do and the hours that it took to complete that and the personnel that was there. That's required by ISO and by the state if they didn't do an audit. And that was one of the reasons why we had that increase in our that 4 and 4Y ratings. So the Lexa pool, that's the one we would like to move forward with, and that's approximately $1,352. And that is for a year. Next year, I think it wouldn't be as expensive because there's that $300, I got a 30% discount, so $90 setup fee, which is what they gave you last month on that estimate. So I think that overall, for continued years, will actually diminish. So I would like to see if that could be motioned and then we get the permission to move forward with that. And items, so the 3 revenue sharings that we put in for, power tools, the storage fittings, and then there was the rib kits. We got approved for the battery power equipment and the rib kits. So we'll be moving forward with those. 5 pool fillings in at least a week and a half. Was worth $475 in donations. That's been turned over to Diane. And it's summertime. Remember, it's high fire danger. Even though things are green, things are still catching on fire. And the pines and the trees as well. And I think there's something about officers' pay.
All right, one thing at a time. First off, thank you.
Yep.
Secondly, you had a recommendation for a probationary
Yes.
firm?
G. Ray. Ray. G. Ray. You got right line?
J?
J.
J-Y?
J-Y-D.
Oh, Jade.
J.
Yeah.
I'm saying J.
I can't spell her last name correct, because I don't have the paperwork here.
B-R-A-Y.
And spell her first name again for me.
J-A-Y.
Okay.
D is in David. D is in Edward.
You have her paper,
Her
Yes.
paperwork
Yes,
is here.
yes.
It is complete.
Yeah.
I do have it. I just don't have it done.
and you'd like that
We'd like to
individual
have-
as a probationary fighter.
Yes. EMR at this time. Medical first responder.
And MFR.
EMR.
Oh, EMR.
Yep. EMR. EMR is a new thing. Wait 2 months from now, it'll go back. She is medically certified.
And your bylaws state that first year to our probationary, correct?
6 months.
6 months.
And we also have in those position descriptions where they have to make 75% of the Monday's training and at least 25% of a year's cost.
What's the board's wishes?
I make a motion to include Jade Bray as an EMR in the probationary period for 6 months.
I'll support it.
Been moved, supported that Jay Gray be accepted into the fire department as a 6-month EMR probationary personnel. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Being none, carried. What was the other thing we were?
The lexical virus.
We have information on that in the back of here.
No. I don't know.
Without reading this, this is internet-based and the CEUs will be recorded right from the state through mail, or is this stuff in
Exactly.
software that goes on the computer?
Nope, it's web-based, so they can access it from anywhere. They can even, review the stuff on my phone all the time. So it's accessible to everyone.
Right, but then are the results when they complete it and
You
pass
get a
the section?
certificate.
Correct, but then it's reported to the state as well?
So I will have to take that information and I'll apply that to smoke. Smoke is the state system.
Okay,
And there's a box that I check, and then if it says that yes, they've met the minimum requirements that they set for it, and if the state decides to audit us, I go to, there's a button that I click, and it runs all that reports.
okay, so you set it all up and it's
Yep.
just there if you needed it later.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, what is this? I'm reading it, and not sure I understand it.
This is continuing education, basically.
Okay.
And so this would reduce like the cost, you know, like you get a budget line item for education and news and all that stuff, because it'll be a web-based system. A lot of the trainings that you have to go to and do, you'll be doing through this system, so it'll be reducing the amount that we've spent on other education offsetting this.
Correct. This is going to better train our people. However, we still will need to go and do in-person things, such as like the fire instructor 1, which is mandated for anybody in an officer's position. They have to go through, I think it's a 46-hour class. They have to go through that. And then that gets you into your fire officer classes, which again will go. Now let's say JAWS, all right? We have personnel that want to go to JAWS training. Does this cover that? No. They still have to go to a state instructor. And that state instructor reviews their skills and everything. And then if they pass, then they get their certificate from the state.
So how many percent do you think that this would replace what you currently have to do hands-on training currently? Is it going to be like 50%? We're still going to have to go 50% of the time, but not 100%.
This would reduce our station training, this would enhance our station training, and this would also enhance those CE requirements. As therefore they're getting a fire academy's program. It's something like putting somebody and putting them into academy. Will we have to do that still? Yeah, they still have to go through the Manistee County Firefighters Association and go through the fire academy. But this program will enhance their ability to make them more efficient and make them believe more in their training. So will it reduce? No, it's enhancing their training. It's investing in the personnel that show up on people's first days.
And I get all that, and, you know, because anytime you can learn and train, you take that with you, nobody can take that, you know, away,
Yes.
no matter who has. I'm looking more at the dollars, I
Yeah.
guess, and so I'm looking to see, like, we budget a certain amount for education and dues.
Correct.
And so if we budgeted $2,000 for that, would that $2,000, this is $1,352 to
Yep.
purchase this. So would we need to increase the budget by the $1,352, because you're still gonna need all that 2,000 or whatever the
No.
dollar is, I'm just using that.
I wouldn't say you would have to increase it. Diane, I don't know, what have we been spending on our training budget?
It's varied from year to year. Right now, there isn't enough room in what's left of your training budget to accommodate the 1352 before the end of June.
Okay,
Next year starts a new slate. There's $2,000 in that line item for training. So, you know, Connie's question is,
yep,
if we approve this and we gear the 1352 out of next year, then is what's left, the $650 roughly, is that enough to get you through the rest of the year?
And I wouldn't expect you to know that right off the top of your head. That's why I was looking for just, you know, an idea. Is this gonna be?
That's why we were trying to decide, okay, if we do this, how much
so
will-
let me, I believe our hours pay is $40,000, correct? That's what we use, that's what we have for station training, that's what we have for call time, that's that budget that we follow, correct?
Actually, I believe that's more in the $35,000 range.
35, okay.
Okay,
Okay, so the $35,000 training, does that come out of that $35,000? Or does it come from that $2,000 training budget?
Okay, there are two separate line items.
Okay,
One is classified as all of your wages into that 35, which includes your training on your timesheet. And the education and dues line item that we're talking about is a separate line item, and that's a separate $2,000.
so my question is where did we spend this past year on that training budget? Because we didn't buy no training supplies or anything.
Well, right, but that would include your dues and education in one line item, and your dues are costly from the state and county, okay, or from the county, whatever.
So
Whatever
you're
time.
taking out of that $2,000 to be a membership to the Manistee Firefighter Association?
Correct, and I think, and you're, if I interpret you correctly, you're thinking that this is going to be part of that $35,000 line.
No,
item. Okay.
no, I'm thinking that this should be part of that training line item. And with that said, I mean, the only other thing that we had this year was, that I know of, is the CPR class. That would have been that coming out of that training line, because we made a donation, or the instructor, we reimbursed it for his time. So, yeah,
But what you're saying is your wages to attend that meeting come out of the wage line.
Yeah.
The wage,
Well,
not the training.
Because they pay the dues or the memberships or whatever to get the training that they have through the
Right,
fire association.
exactly.
So that amount is gonna be anyway, and so
Yes.
that, if that covers what trainings that you have, and the only additional, what you're telling me is the CPR, then this 1,352 would need it to be added because the dues amount that you pay already, and you're gonna continue to pay for that.
yes, but it's not gonna be a total of $2,000.
No, but it's
because
1,800
this
something
year-
last year, I believe.
Yeah, so there's still some, but I mean, so I guess to answer your question, yes, I guess we would have to add, because we
Yes,
can't.
and that's all I'm looking for, I'm not saying it's a good idea, bad idea, I'm just trying to make sure that the dollars, because, and I know everybody knows this, but in the last couple of years, prior to getting fire trucks and fire halls, we didn't take any money out of the savings. We were able to build it because we thought that we had a water and sewer, project that had to be handled, and it takes a lot of money to do water and sewer. And now, it's like, when the tribe stepped up and did some of that water and sewer for us, it allowed us to get a fire hall, and it allowed us to get a fire truck. But for the last 3 years, we've taken sums of money out of the savings account that I have to get put back in there for the next time we need a fire truck or whatever. And so I'm just trying to see where we get the money, kind of thing, if we need to put it in that line item. We just need to do that before this budget item.
Well, Alexa Pool is, or the training provided by Alexa Pool is something that the personnel needs, but if this is gonna eat up $1,300 of the $2,000, well, the firefighters, Manistee County Firefighters Council, is that right? Association, that eats up how much? How much are those dues?
It's around 1,800, I think, the whole.
Yeah,
I think it's
I think it's something.
That's
around-
your over
that-
$3,000, so.
As we pay into it, and then that allows us to get into the fireworks, the state funding, the
Right,
fireworks.
no, we're not saying there's a problem with it, we're just
Yeah.
trying to figure out where the money's gonna come from.
Because if we don't want to pull out of that, because then we'll have to pay.
No, we don't wanna do that.
That number will go way up because of we'll have to pay for each individual fire school.
Yeah, and I'm familiar with these types of educational system. I think they're great and wonderful.
Oh, yeah,
And,
we use
you
it
know,
for the state all the time.
It's not that I'm saying that this is a bad idea, no,
Yeah.
it's just, let's figure out where the money, what line item is it coming from, and what can we do with it?
Okay, you got it in front of you, I think it's been fully explained what your wishes. How do you wanna handle it? You're talking 1352 for this, for how many, is it 17 personnel?
I had to break down,
I think it's around 17.
yeah,
Diane, you said the money's not in the budget, is that correct?
So that's this year's, not without moving something.
Right,
When's the enrollment, is there an enrollment period?
No, sir, we can do it anytime.
So it could be done after the 1st of July?
Yeah, that's just something we want to wait till the new fiscal year.
Only under budgetary things, not budgetary means.
And we're asking for the 9 fire and EMS learning platform. That's 12 months, and that's $86 a person, which gives you a total of $774. And then 8 personnel will have just the fire learning platform for 12 months. That's $46 a person, giving you a total of $368. So $1,142 is what that cost would be. And then there's a fire rescue EMS One Academy account set up, which was the $300. And we got a 30% discount because fire and city fire are on it. So that's a $90 at $210. So that's where you're getting that.
$13.52. Let's get going here. What do we do with this?
You want a motion?
Mm-hmm.
I make a motion that, we adjust the budget to include the Lexi Pool education. I don't know if that could be paid in 2 separate payments, if we have any balance left in the 21 budget that we paid, that 100,
Not enough to worry about.
so then you can
So,
say next
do we
year's
want to
budget.
adjust this year's budget to do it?
Wait, Sam said it's fine to go to July, if that works for you.
So next year's.
Yeah.
The wheels are turning.
Well, they are. And we can do that
Which do you prefer?
This year's.
this year's, it's easier.
Okay.
So I make a motion. That we,
Is there a second?
I'll support that.
in this year's
You want that part of the motion?
budget. In the 2021 budget.
Okay. Mr. Donoff, you support it?
He did.
Yes.
Okay.
And who supported to enroll the personnel as Sam stated for 17 personnel into the Lexa Pool. I'm going to call it
Enter
continuing.
into the Lexipol training contract between the fire department personnel.
Yeah,
Okay.
And,
to the term of 1352.
and Diane, that contract looked okay to you?
It looked fine. I didn't see any problems with it.
Discussion?
Not a minute, but when we're done with this, then we got a question for Sam.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Opposed? Being none? Then can you get registered by the end of the month?
I will call him tomorrow and say I have the green light, or we need to go ahead. I already gave him Diane's
We already
information.
have the contract. I'll have to assign and date it, and I'll write a check and then the initials. And then they can go forward with the rest. But that having been done, while we're going on to the next thing, I need to make some modifications to this year's adjustments.
Oh.
Sam, I know there's not a clear-cut answer to my question. If we educate 2, 5, 10, whatever number of cadets, turn them into firemen, okay?
Okay?
There's nothing saying that they're gonna stay here from now to eternity, okay? They're not gonna retire Manistee Township firemen. So we lose some of them after we have X number of dollars invested in them.
Yep.
Do we firemen or went through all this education? You understand my
We did
question?
that tonight, I think, with Jake, didn't we?
Yep. Yep, we had Jake show up, I mean, look at Jim Henderson, you know, he was trained here in this county by the association. He went on to work for City Fire, he left, then he came back. So you have a small return, it's not a huge return, the problem is that is a huge sacrifice. When you're laying in the bed at 3 o'clock at night, and the phones go off, and there's a house on fire, yeah, I mean, how many times you sit there and you think about it, do I really gotta get out of bed, I was sleeping really good, you know, you gotta set your needs aside. And my biggest thing is, okay, now that's my guys, the guys that I'm responsible for, they're now going there. So if I'm not there to see their safety.
Well, that's not really the question or where I was going with that. I was just wondering if after the investment
Yeah.
going out the door, so to speak,
So
you answered, you just named a couple
Yep,
that
and
come
Brandon,
in that are already trained.
yep, Brandon, he came through, was a member of our academy, he did leave, he was a member of our department, but now he's on the United States Air Force firefighting teams. So, to me, that's a huge compliment. And yeah, I hope we get him back one day, because he's got a world of knowledge.
No, that was just a question. I know there's not a yes or no answer, or,
I wish I could say, yeah, we got people coming all the time, but we don't.
yeah.
I mean, I got a guy that, he's got a CDL, and he doesn't want to fight fires, but he wants to drive a truck. Come on, you know? I can run you through a class, you come out with your certification that's required by the state, and I get it. Somebody dependable to run a tanker? Sure, send me water, bring it to me. But it's hard to find people.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else?
Yes, sir.
Again, express our thanks to everyone across the street, if you would, please.
We thank you, yes.
What kind of report have you got, Mr. Liquor Inspector?
For the month of May, everybody's in compliance. Insulos did decide to sell alcohol, so they're all set up and they have a new license. Everybody has a new license except for the BP station out here. But they have till July 30th, so. And Douglas Valley has not been open yet. I don't know if they're gonna open.
I don't think so, because there's been some publications in the paper that indicate they probably won't.
That's what I gathered. And Heathlands is not opening either, so. But everybody else is in compliance. No issues.
No one has approached you about the new program in the city where certain areas you can get a cup with a sticker on it and walk out the building with it?
Mm-mm.
There's a terminology for it. but-
Yeah. No, nobody has yet.
Okay, good. Well, you don't have any Class C anyhow, do you?
Mm-mm.
Any questions for liquor inspector? Moving on, township update, I don't have much of an update. I spoke with the gentleman over here at the bridge. They are on schedule. Those big pipes you see laying alongside of the road there, those pipes are being driven into the ground, he said approximately 100 feet underneath under the water to get to bedrock. So that's what all that pounding is you hear all day every day. The open house for Maple Ridge is tomorrow, correct?
Yes. Mhm.
1 to 5,
Yes.
and they're excited. Anything else you should report on? Ladies?
I'm sorry.
Is there anything in your offices that you need to update? Okay, veterans flags, you have a, excuse me, you have a copy of a letter from Stanley Freitas, asking for a donation for the flags for the cemeteries. The flags are up, they were up for Memorial Day. Is this for next year, or is that reimbursement for this year?
That would be reimbursement for this year. We'll get next year's next one too.
And last year's counts were, how did we miss this? Didn't get the letter.
Well,
Last year's contribution was $700.
right.
What's your wishes?
I make a motion to contribute $700 to the veterans.
I'll second.
Been moved and supported that we continue the donation to the Veterans, United Veterans Council of Manistee County for the cost of flags for the cemeteries. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. None opposed? Now here's the subject that Connie was talking about. The budget amendment number 2. Do you still need to work on that? Do you want me to go somewhere else?
Let me, if you have someplace else or something else like the township update that you want to talk about for a few minutes, well,
We already did that, the next item.
I need to make the modifications on the sheet that you have before you can vote on it.
Okay, Ed, every year we have to, item number 4 is resolution 2111. Excuse me, it needs to be done every year. It's a Manistee Township appropriations resolution. And what that does is that allows us to pay members of the board, members that work for the township. It's boilerplate wording. As suggested, it's done every year, but it needs to be done every year. So I'd entertain a motion to adopt resolution 2021-11 with the Manistee Township appropriations.
I make a motion to adopt resolution number 2021-11.
Is there support?
I'll support it.
It's been moved and supported that we adopt resolution number 2021-11, Manistee Township appropriations resolution. Any discussion? You want me to take the names? I will.
Well, that needs to be a roll call vote.
Okay.
Mr. Fino,
Yes.
Mr. Dons,
Yes.
Taylor is yes, Ms. Jankowitz,
Yes.
and Mr. Berquist.
Yes. Carried. Resolution 2021-12 is to establish the officer's salary. That's the officers of this board. The salaries are the same as they were in last year. Supervisor $13,800, treasurer $24,000, clerk $24,000, trustees $350. Excuse me, these are monthly salaries.
Trustees are monthly, the others are annual.
Oh, geez, I thought I was gonna get $13.80 a month.
All you have to do is get it approved.
So, I entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 2021-12, establishing township officer salaries.
Support.
Been moved, supported that we adopt resolution 2021-12, establishing township officer salary. Any discussion? Call roll, please.
Mr. Dons,
Yes.
Taylor is yes, Ms. Berquist, I'm
Yes.
sorry, Jagless?
Yes.
Mr. Fino?
Yes.
And Mr. Burgess?
Yes.
Thank you.
Resolution 2021-13 is established fire department administrative compensation rate. This is with reference to the officers at the fire department. There was some adjustment to the chain of command with the elimination of the assistant fire chief and the creating an EMS captain's position. What you have in front of you is the salary for those individuals. Fire chief is $300, fire captain 70, fire lieutenant 50, EMS captain 70, EMS lieutenant 50. And these are salary plus hourly. Excuse me.
Just looking at that in my head, that has not changed. They're extremely minimal with the benefits, is that correct?
That's correct. The elimination of the assistant fire chief
1,200, yeah.
opened up, that opened up money for the other positions other than the fire chief.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution number 2021-13, establish fire department administrative compensation.
Is there support?
Support.
Been moved supported that we adopt resolution 2021-13, administrative compensation rates for the fire department. Any discussion? Call roll, please.
Taylor is yes. Ms. Jenkins?
Yes.
Mr. Fino?
Yes.
Mr. Downs?
Yes.
And Mr. Burkhardt? Okay.
You ready for your
We are-
budget amendment?
If you would like to write on your recommended 2021 budget change number 2, if you would like to write on your own pages, the changes would be to the fire department. In addition to the additions and deletions that are on here, we would be adding 5 line items. The first would be the fire department education and dues fund. We would increase that budget by $1,300. The next line item would be the fire department office supplies. We would reduce that budget by $200.
Reduced it?
Reduce it,
200?
200. The next would be the fire department fuel. We would reduce by $500.
On top of the 800.
Yes.
Okay.
The fire department telephone, we would reduce $300. The fire department electric, we would increase $200. And the major fund equipment that's already on your list, currently at $6,500 reduction, we would change that reduction to be $7,000, which means we're effectively taking an additional $500 out of there. That gives us the $1,300 we need to transfer into the education fund for the 2020-21 budget adjustment. That's exactly what we did.
The
I'm good on that.
And I'll supply you with an updated print as soon as I get it through.
So you all have in front of you the recommended 2021 budget change number 2 with the additions as just stated. What are your wishes?
I make a motion that we adopt the recommended budget change. Number 2.
Support.
It moves supported that we adopt the recommended 2020-2021 budget change number 2 with additions.
With additions.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Ms. Jennings,
Yes.
Mr. Fino,
Yes.
Mr. Cons,
Yes.
Taylor is yes, Mr. Burgess.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, you received a copy of the June bills.
Excuse me. I'll make a motion to allow the bills paid as presented and the incoming bills for the balance of the month to be paid also.
I'll second.
Been moved supported that the bills presented from May 1st to May 31st, 2021, plus the balance for the month. Okay. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. None opposed? Carried. Manistee County MTA will be held Wednesday, June 23rd at the Onekama Township Hall. Onekama? Do you have an appeal?
Not at this time.
But if there is an appeal, it'll be July 6th, 6 p.m. here at the hall. Planning Commission is scheduled for Wednesday, July 7th at 7 p.m. here at the hall.
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
You changed it?
No, it's always been at 9.
Okay, but your minutes, did I read them incorrectly?
It says 9 a.m. on your sheet.
It said 9 a.m. originally, yeah. I changed it while I was sitting here.
Okay, if it's 9 a.m., it's 9 a.m.
Yep, 9 o'clock, we're fine.
Once again, the Manistee
I see
County,
what you're looking at is the minutes.
I
from
I
last
looked at the
month.
minutes and it said 7 o'clock, so I sat here and changed the schedule.
That's why I missed it.
Sure, blame it on me.
so is it 9 o'clock?
Yeah.
Yes. That has not changed.
9 o'clock.
So to reiterate, Manistee Township Planning Commission is scheduled for Wednesday, July 7th at 9 a.m. here at the Town Hall. Next regular meeting of the Manistee Township Board will be Wednesday, July 8th.
Question. July 8th is a Thursday.
Yeah.
Says
It
Wednesday.
It
says
says
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
That was just a test to see if you were awake, Billy.
Ace it.
The next regular meeting of the Manistee Township Board will be Thursday, July 8th at 7 p.m. here at the Manistee Township Hall. Manistee Township Board of Review will meet Tuesday, July 20th here at the hall to review and correct qualified errors and assessments. There will not be any in-person appeals at that time. Any other public comment? Barry?
I actually do have something, and this is more of a zoning question, but the parcel next to the microtel that's currently for sale and has about 15 structures on it, is that type of use of commercial property where you just haphazardly throw some buildings up, is that allowed? Because it doesn't look very good being our probably most traveled intersection in the county. Just curious on that.
He has the permission from Denny, is it
Milo.
Mylash, to utilize that piece of property there to have those
Displays.
displayed.
So it's allowable use? It's allowable use? And to that extent, the other quarter doesn't look very good either. Anyone else? Motion to order. Pay attention?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Jones? I'll second it.
Then move support, we adjourn. All in favor?